Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Omoti. If you are returning subscribers, I say a very big thank you to you. And if you are coming across this video for the very first time, I say you are highly welcome. Please like and share my videos, subscribe for more, and please try and turn on your notification bell in case I drop any new videos. So the inspiration is the one at the center, while the one I recreated is the one at the both side. So if this is what you are interested in watching, kindly watch to the very end. I'll be working with a crepe fabric of 4 years. If you are using Ankara, you can also do that. I'm working with crepe fabric of 4 years. So the next thing to do is to fold your fabric into 4. You fold your fabric into 2, You fold all the fabric into 2. Then you fold into 2 again in a triangular form. Can you see as I'm folding? So after folding, you look for where you can get your bust measurement. The bust I'm working with is 38 divided by 4 is 9.5 plus 1.5 inches. So you do the same, whatever your bust measurement is, you look for it at that point. So from that bust point, I went up by 8 inches. That 8 inches will serve as my starting point. Can you see as you see me doing the video? Then I connected it with a straight line. That will serve as my starting point. So after that, I'll be measuring out the length of this gown. The length of this dress is 58 inches plus 1 inch hemming allowance, which is 59. So I'm measuring the length of this gown. Please note this because we'll be coming back to it later. So I measured the length 59 inches. So from that 8 inches point, I came down by 5 inches, and the 5 inches will serve as my strap. Since it's an off shoulder, if you want 4 inches, you can work with 4 inches. If you want 6 inches, you can work with 6 inches. But as for mine, I make use of 5 inches. And the 5 inch is the same thing I'll be using for my strap. If you use 4 inches, you measure out 4 inches for your strap. If you use 6 inches, you measure 6 inches out for your strap. But as for mine, I'm using 5 inches. That's my new neckline. So from that point, from this folded side, I measured 6 inches. I measured 6 inches. If you're on a small size or on a medium, you divide your shoulder by 2 and minus 2 inches from it. Whatever you have, you measure it out at that point. So I've connected that 6 inches to the armhole, to the bust point. At that point, I came down by 1.5 and I connected it to form my straight cut neckline. 1.5, I connected it to the chest line to form my straight cut neckline, as you see me do. So the next thing now is to measure out the length of this dress. From that point, from the tip of the dress, you measured out the length of the dress to meet that initial 59 inches or whatever length you have measured before. So from that angle now, I measure it down to that 59 inches and I have 67 inches. Whatever you have, that's what you are using. So from that point, I have 67 inches. So I will be measuring out 67 inches all round as the length of this dress. Please try and watch this video again if you feel like I'm too fast. From that angle, I measured 67 inches. The initial length is 69. That was from the starting point. But now from the angle, I measure it to where that 59 inches was and it gave me 67. So I'm using the 67 to cut this dress out. So our dress is ready. The next thing is to place it on another fabric. I folded this fabric into 4 to cut my facing. At that point that you are seeing me putting my hand, you should have at least, from the armhole, you should have at least 4 to 5 inches at that point. So the next thing is to cut it out. So I'm trying to give this facing a little bit shape. So I'm trying to curve it. You can also leave it like that if you want, but as for mine, I want to give it a little bit shape. So I'm cutting that part out. So the facing is ready for both front and back. So the next thing is to cut the strap. The strap I'm working with is 5 inches in length and 1.7 inches in width. This fabric is folded into 4 because I'll be cutting both sides together. So 5 inches in length and 1.75 in width. I'll be using 1/4 inch to stitch it together, while I'll be having 1.5 as my strap. If you want your own strap to be more wider than that, than 1.5, you can add to it. But for mine, I'm making use of 1.75. So our strap is ready. The next thing is to cut the pocket. So place your palm the same way you are seeing in the video and measure out. At this point, you should have at least 7 to 8 inches at that point. At the opening of the pocket, 7 to 8 inches. If you don't have it that way, you can adjust it, then you cut it out. So our pocket is ready and the strap also is ready. So to determine that part, you measure from the neckline, to the waist and come down by 1 inches from the waist. That will serve as your pocket opening. That's where you place your pocket. So the next thing is to start joining. You sew that part by 1/4 inch or whatever inches you added to it. So then you turn it out. I'm just trying to show you I've not sewn here. Then you turn it out and please ensure your strap, you have at least 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch from the armhole itself. Can you see I'm placing it? I'm not placing it on the armhole. I left like a 1/4 inch from the armhole. Then I place my facing on it. From that part, you sew all through. You sew it this way. You follow that shape to the other part of the armhole. Then you hem. After sewing, you give it a notch and you hem the facing. You do the same thing to both front and back. You hem the facing. Can you see? So after that, after sewing, this is what you should have. Can you see how beautiful this is coming out? So at this point, you work with your iron. You should iron it down so it will relax well. Please try and notch. You try and notch. Give it a notch. So after notching, this is what you will have, and you give it a very good press. I will have done that, but we don't have light now. So you can also place your hemming gum on it so it will relax very well. You place your hemming gum under the facing, close to the neckline. Are you getting me? Under the facing, close to the neckline, and you give it a very good press. The neckline will relax very well. To relax well. So you do the same thing to the other side. You do the same thing to the other side. You place your strap. Ensure you leave that 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch from the armhole, and you place your facing on it. this way. The same thing you did to the front, you do it to the back also. As you are seeing me doing in the video. So you can pin it down so it will make it easier for you. Then you sew it down. So after sewing, you notch also, and you can also add your hemming gum to this too when ironing, so that it will relax well also. Can you see? You sew from there to the other end. Please don't close that place. So after sewing, this is what you should have. So at this part, you take both front and back facing together. I've sewn one part, so let me show you what I did at that part. Please ensure you don't sew like this. It's not professional. Please don't sew it this way. Don't sew it this way. No, just take both facing. Take both facing, let them align, and you ensure that armhole part, they both match each other. Ensure both parts match each other. Then you sew down by whatever inches you added to it. You sew it down to the hem line. Now you see how neat this is coming out already. So you do the same thing to the other side. So after that, this is what you should have. After closing it up, this is what you should have. This is what you should have. Can you see? Then you turn it over and turn it to the other side. Can you see that armhole side is relaxing well? So the next thing is to hem the down parts. I added 1 inch for my hemming, so you hem by your whatever inches you added, you hem. Our gown is ready. If you find this video helpful, kindly give this video a thumbs up, like and share my videos for more. Thank you.